here we are. We are live. I see all the hashtag communities coming through. I was watching Corey's live stream. I knew what the code was going to be when everybody's coming over here. Very, very cool. And I think that it's the perfect thing to send people over this way with the hashtag community, because that's what this does. This builds community, and it's a beautiful thing. So, okay, I want to get right into it. And first of all, give you all the bad news, which hopefully somebody can give me an audio/video check. I can see that video is good, but I don't know how the audio is. Should be fine, but let's see. Hopefully somebody, I'm going to keep talking until somebody said video is good. But how about the audio, Candy? Can you hear me too? Can you hear me on here? I don't know. I mean, listen, if you have been watching this live stream for any length of time, you are well aware that I am the king of audio issues. And okay, video is good again. Wow, there's a lot of people coming over here with the 5 out of 5. Okay, thank you, Paul. A lot of people coming over with the community. So anyway, I am the king of technical malfunctions and issues. I'm kind of known for that. So I'm very nervous every time I start up a live stream. Like, man, I want to spend the first couple of minutes making sure everything's okay. But while I'm doing that, thank you, Ron Foss, Fish House Keeper. I'm about to talk about you in just a second. But the first thing that I want to say here tonight is I have the unfortunate duty of explaining to you that there is no Lisa tonight. You can see this is a different configuration. And there's a very good reason for that. She probably wouldn't want me talking about it, but she had a death of a close friend of hers this week. This was not somebody that I knew, but somebody that she knew growing up. And so she's not into it today. And I totally understand that. I told her, I said, hey, I can do it. You don't need to come on here tonight. You're not up to it. Don't even worry about it. So we're not going to have Lisa here tonight, unfortunately, but hopefully you'll stick with me and we can have some fun. I think that today is going to be a lot of fun because of what I'm going to show you in just a minute. What the title of this stream is, the video that nobody watched, but it's one of my absolute favorites that I've ever made in my entire 8 years, plus the little break in there. It's one of my absolute favorites. So stick around for that. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But while we wait for people to file in here, I do want to make you aware of what's going on here, what's been happening over the last week. A lot of me sitting on my butt, and I'm kind of tired of it. I'm going back to work next week. I'm not all that excited about going back to work because of the risk of, but I'll be happy to get off my butt because I've been sitting in this chair for like 3 weeks straight and it's driving me crazy. But this week we did get the 75-gallon tank down here into the basement. It's right over there. It doesn't look all that great right now because the sand that's in it, the substrate that was in it, it didn't transfer very well. So it looks a little bit dirty right now, but it's going to clear up. I mean, it's already cleared up 100%. Compared to the way it was just yesterday. So we brought it down here. I think it was yesterday, day before. Who knows? I mean, who even keeps track of what day it is anymore? But the 75 is down here. And I got to tell you, when you see what Lisa has planned for this tank, it's something super special. It's something that we have not been able to do successfully yet. And I just can't wait. Now, this is not a sales pitch here, folks. Understand, this is not a sales pitch. I'm just making you aware that the channel members are going to actually find out tomorrow. The channel members are going to find out tomorrow what Lisa's plan is with that 75-gallon tank. If you're not a channel member, if you don't believe in channel memberships and you don't want to be a part of that, I totally understand it. You'll know soon. But channel members are going to know tomorrow. The video is already recorded. It's already uploaded. It's ready to go. As soon as I wake up tomorrow, I'm making it live because you can't schedule members only videos which is a bummer, but at least I haven't figured out a way how to do it. So be looking forward to that if you are a channel member. And on the topic of channel members, Dr. Killjoys, Hannah Fowler, Ron Foss, Fish Housekeeper. I like that name. It's very hard to say. Noah Trim, Tia Pickens, and Nikki Fufu. Wow, we've got some cool names in here today. Welcome to the team. Very, very glad to have you. And guess what? You'll be able to see that video tomorrow about what Lisa has planned for that discus tank. Oh, the discus tank, about the 75-gallon tank. So Lefty3213 starts it off because he always does. Condolences to Lisa, sending virtual hugs. Yeah. She was very, very messed up this morning. And so, yeah, I'm sure she appreciates that. She might be in the chat, not 100% certain, but she might be in there. So you can say that directly to her if you want. So, and then just out of nowhere here, we had Jack Kawamoto and Texas Fish Room. Welcome to the team. This is exciting. Members are all coming in. Feels real good. Now, want to take a break from that. And let's move on here. I don't want the whole stream to be super chats and members, except Science Gal, because I know her. So got to say hi to her. But welcome to the team, Science Gal. So I want to talk about, I got one more thing to talk about. Two more things, actually, real quick. Fish Room Fever is going to be coming up after me. Rack Cross from the River Life has been generous enough to give up this very valuable time slot after us. I mean, let's face it, Corey is a juggernaut when it comes to live streams. He passes a lot of that on to me, which makes me look like I'm a juggernaut, which is really cool. And then I pass as many on to the next stream as I can. Usually that's River Life, but tonight it's going to be Fish Room Fever, which is very cool. So after me, you'll check him out at 10:30. You got an hour and a half with me. I don't know how you can tolerate my voice for that long, but he's coming up. And then Lisa and I had something today. I'm not going to go into all that much detail because I can't, because it's still so brand new. But we came up with an idea for a new series of videos. I'm not going to tell you what they are. It's not going to be us being characters, although that series isn't going away. I still love that one, but it's something really cool that we're really, really excited about. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably barely going to sleep tonight because I'm just so excited about this series. And I can tell you this, when we came up with this idea, I told Lisa, I said, okay, when I have 52 topics, that's when I'll start actually making a plan for these videos, because we plan the videos out. We have outlines, 10 things, we have a script and everything else. So, I'll start making a plan when we have 52, and it took us about 2 hours. 2 hours, we came up with not 52, but 53 topics for this new series. So I'm so excited about it. John, how in the world could you come up with 53 topics that fast? Well, when you see what the series is, I think it'll make sense. But I'm excited about it. Anytime as a YouTuber, particularly a fish YouTuber, because if I was a vlogger that could just go with my camera and go to the park like Peter McKinnon and just make a video of me at the park and 100,000 people will watch it, in his case, 1 million people will watch it, there'd be no problem ever coming up with content. But when you're a fish tuber, you do struggle at times to figure out what it is that you're going to talk about. So when you have a new series idea and you come up with 53 topics in 2 hours, that's a special thing. So I'm not going to give you any more information about it. All I can tell you is I'm really excited about it, and Lisa is too. And it's very, very cool. Now, one of the things that I have worried about for quite some time is our 10 Things series. It's my favorite thing in the world. As far as my professional life, it's my favorite thing to do. I love the 10 Things series. And apparently the YouTube algorithm and the YouTube community loves it too, because it is our thing. It's kind of what we've become known for on this channel. I've worried for the longest time, and I've actually had this happen. I've worried we're going to run out. We're going to run out of stuff to talk about. I think we're approaching 50 episodes. of the 10 Things series. And, you start to think, what are we going to do when 10 Things runs out? And I've been telling her for a while, we need to find the next 10 Things. And I think this might be it. I'm not saying that this series is going to replace 10 Things, but if we do get to that inevitable place where 10 Things is no more, I mean, Seinfeld ended, folks. Breaking Bad ended. The Sopranos ended. All good things must come to an end. We're not there yet, but if it ever does happen, I think that this could be a good replacement. But what we're going to do instead is we're going to start uploading these videos, not this Tuesday, and probably not for several Tuesdays, but it's going to be our Tuesday videos that we'll be putting up. And, if the day comes where we run out of stuff to talk about on the 10 Things series, then this will become the new thing in that time slot. So I'm excited about it. And to come up with a year's worth, you think about it, one video a week, to think of a year's worth of content in a couple hours, it's a really big deal. So yes, going to lose quite a bit of sleep tonight. Tyler Barton, hey, hope the best for Lisa. You guys helped me out of some real binds starting out, and I hope she's all right, and I hope y'all are safe. Thank you for the $30 super chat. Good grief. That oval is going to stay up there looking pretty at the top of the screen for a while. If Lisa is not in the chat right now, she can hear me because she's right up at the top of the stairs. So I'm sure she appreciates that very much. Priscilla MK Art with the $5 virtual hug to Lisa. John, you got this. Thank you for having confidence in me, Priscilla. And listen, we got a special package this week, folks. We got a special package from Priscilla MK Art, and I want so bad to show it to you. But I hope that Priscilla can understand that because Lisa is not with me, I want to wait till next week when she's here with me. Super excited about it. Priscilla, I don't have any excuses. I haven't been able to reach out to you personally to thank you for it, but I think Lisa has, and I'm glad about that. But yes, absolutely amazing package came in from Priscilla, and I don't even know what we did to deserve it. So be showing you that next week. Very excited about it. It was to Lisa, and then a couple of things, really nice things thrown in for me too. But I want her to be here to show you so that I'm not showing you a couple this week and then she's showing you some next week. Let's do it all next week. So Priscilla, thank you very much. You're a doll, and we will show that stuff next week. I promise. Fish Tank Barn hugs to Lisa. Thank you, Mike. $5. Appreciate that very much. It's become kind of a staple thing. I could go to a car dealership right now and I could tell them, hey, I work for YouTube, but I guarantee I'm going to make $5 a week from Fish Tank Barn. So there's my secure income right there. So thank you, Mike. Matthew Vanderkoy, new series. Thank you. Condolences to Lisa. Yeah, it's not, this new series that I'm talking about is not going to be some groundbreaking thing. We're not pioneering anything. It's not kind of a complete departure like Tanks of Our Lives is. Tanks of Our Lives still probably my favorite thing to do. Absolutely love that series. It's not like that. It is something very similar to 10 Things. It's not a top 10 list or anything like that. It's not a top 5 list before people start saying that. But it's going to have the production value of 10 Things. And that's kind of what we're the most excited about. It may seem like a lot goes into those, and a lot does. But the good thing about the 10 Things series is that we're able to sit down and record 4 a day if we want to. And this series, we're going to be able to do that too. So excited about it. Be on the lookout for it. I will keep everyone updated on that series as we go on. Basic Aquatics with the $4.99, whatever kind of currency that is. Condolences to Lisa from the UK. Well, now we know what it is. I stay up just to watch you guys go live. Yes, it's 2 a.m. Good grief. I usually have to have, if I'm up that late, there has to be either a hospital involved or police involved for me to be up that late. Cody Metz got Angelfish coming. Money, so excited. Nice. And Whips World, the guy that, who did I say he looks like? The guy that looks like Zach Wilde has become a member. Very, very excited. Now listen, if anybody else does super chats, you know I will get to you. New members, of course I will shout you out, but we got to get to this video because we got 600 people here watching, and this is a video that I'm going to watch the whole thing with you. I think it's, I don't know how long it is. I think it's like 8 minutes long. And what I want to do, I actually just made the decision to do this a couple of minutes ago. I want to kind of commentate this video, kind of like you would see if you watch the bonus features on a DVD. You see the directors are, you know, kind of giving you commentary, but I'm not going to do it over the video. I'll pause it because there is a lot of things to go into about this video. But so expect some interruptions during the video. If I interrupt too much and it bothers y'all, I'll play it again. It's fine. That's 18 minutes of easy content for me. But this video is, okay, listen. When you're a fish tuber on YouTube, it's difficult to be creative because you're talking about the nitrogen cycle. You're talking about fish food. You're talking about water changes. It's a beautiful hobby that we all love so much, but there's not that humongous level of excitement where we can do crazy things, outrageous things. You don't find that too much in this niche that we're in, and that's fine. I mean, we signed up for this. I'm not trying to complain. The Tanks of Our Lives series is definitely my opportunity to, you know, be creative and do silly things and talk about Green Day and talk about silly things like that, the Bee Gees. But this video that I'm going to show you today is a video that I made 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago. July of 2015 is when I did this video. And it is, to this day, one of my absolute favorite videos that I've ever made on my channel. And usually when you do a video, any YouTuber will tell you this, when you do a video that you absolutely love and you just, your heart's into it, and it's your favorite project you've ever worked on, it usually bombs as far as the amount of people that watch it. And it is what it is. It doesn't hurt my feelings that nobody watched it. My Aquashella video from last year was the same for me. It's one of my absolute favorite videos, and it will always be until I make another one that I love that much. But love, love, love that video. Nobody watched it. When I say nobody watched it, I mean nobody as far as the standards of my channel. Nobody has really watched this video. And this one, being 5 years old, has been kind of buried down there. The thumbnail is terrible, so that's probably got a lot to do with why nobody watched it. But there's no bringing back tool, Andy. That it's still here. We're just, yeah, don't get me too far off here. But anyway, this video it's pretty much dead now. But even when we put it out and it was, you know, original, and it was July of 2015, even then nobody really watched it. But it didn't matter to me because my family watched it and they laughed. The girl in this video that the video's about, she laughed about it, and I was a little bit nervous about it because I thought maybe I was a little mean in the video, but she understood what I was trying to accomplish with this video. This video really does mean a lot to me. And I want to share it with you. I want to play it here for all of you all. I am going to have my video feed here as the picture in a picture. This video is called Horror in King George. And let me see. I think that's what the title is. Oh, I can't get to it right now. I'm pretty sure that's what the title of the video is. I'm going to play this video, and I will stop every once in a while to kind of explain to you what's going on. So let's go with it. King George, a small Virginia town, rich with history that most would describe as having that Mayberry feel. A place where Saturdays revolve around youth flag football or a day at the lake. Nothing much happens in a town where the most exciting thing to happen in the last year was the opening of a new Sheetz convenience store. Okay, I'm going to pause it right there for just a second. First of all, the footage that you saw of flag football, that was our youngest, who's now 16. He was playing flag football at the time. I don't think that's when I was the assistant coach of that team. But anyway, that's actual footage of his team practicing. And then we lived at the time in a community that had a lake, and that footage there was of that. And the thing is, what I'm trying to do here with this, folks, hopefully you all have figured it out. I was going for Keith Morrison. Now, if you're a Dateline, I think it's Dateline, or if you're a investigative discovery fan, you are well aware of who Keith Morrison is. But if you don't know who he is, he narrates a ton of like true crime dramas. So when I did this video, the voice that's me there doing the narration, I think that's pretty obvious. I was trying to go for that sound that he has. So, and the funny thing is, our daughter's boyfriend works at that Sheets that's on the screen right now. But anyway, all right, let's keep going. But on July 1st, 2015, this sleepy little town made headlines when a father made a discovery in his teenage daughter's bedroom that changed everything you know about small town America. Well, and July 1st was just like a normal day. I mean, get up in the morning, the sun's out, the kids are home because it's summer break. I mean, it's absolutely nothing out of the ordinary that day. Just a normal, routine day. To John and Lisa, a hard-working couple raising their blended family of 5 children, July 1st may have seemed like a normal day, but little did they know the horror that lied just behind their youngest daughter's bedroom door.
They've lived next door.
Okay. Now, the photo, first of all, this is my sister, okay? And that was her name. She has since divorced, and she looks very different now. She'd probably be very upset with me for having this up of her right now, but she's lost like 70 pounds. She wasn't big there, but she's lost a ton of weight since then, and her last name's not Cropper anymore. But the photo that you just saw of Lisa and I back when I was skinny and all of the kids, that photo was taken like 2013, and it was actually taken on the opposite side of that wall that you're looking at right there. This is my sister at her house, and that photo was taken on the outside of that wall. I don't know why I'm telling you that, but I'm just telling you that. So this is actually my sister, not my neighbor.
To me for over a year now, and been wonderful neighbors. Their children are very courteous and respectful. I've never had any problems from them whatsoever.
When Lisa decided to take the kids to the lake for some swimming and fishing in the hot summer sun, John would be the first to encounter what no responsible parent would ever want to see. Well, Lisa decided to take the kids to the lake that day. It was a beautiful day. You know, it made sense to do that, get the kids out of the house. I had some work that I had to catch up on at home, so I stayed back, and I had to go upstairs for something, and I thought, while I'm up there, I'll go ahead and check to see if the kids did what they promised they would do, which was clean their rooms before they left. And that's when it happened.
I mean, what does somebody do when they're put into a position like that? I don't know how I would react. I don't know what I would do.
Honestly, I wish I hadn't even gone up there.
I've never dreamed she was capable of this. She is a very sweet girl. I would have never thought that this would happen.
I thought it would be funny to just videotape myself walking through the rooms. Evidence, if you will. I figured at least one of them would have forgotten to clean their room. And, you know, when they got home, I could show them the video, and whichever one forgot, I could say, hey, what is this? You know, I don't know. I thought it would be funny, but it turned out to be a huge mistake.
I've seen the video. I will never get that image out of my head.
All right, y'all promised you were going to clean your room, so I'm getting video evidence, right? Okay, now obviously, all right, I'm just going to let it play. Now, I'm going to find out if you did or not. Let's start out in this one. Well, the first thing I noticed, you can actually see the floor, so that's an improvement. It's all her makeup stuff. I'm not worried about all that. This is actually a lot better than what I was expecting to see. I mean, I was expecting to find God knows what all over the place in this bedroom. So I guess it's not the... Oh my God, what? You have got to be kidding me. No. Look at this. Absolutely unacceptable. What was the pump keeping you up at night or something? You had to turn the pump off? Really? The pump's not even on. Lid's hanging off. It's all crusty and moldy and... Oh, this is horrible. I can't believe... I don't even know what to say. My old golden retriever in the background there. You know, you try so hard and you think you're doing everything you can do to raise them right.
I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. I had no idea anything like that was going on. It's sad.
I can't believe, and I'm ashamed that something like this was happening under my roof. Right under our noses, this was happening. I can't believe it. John and Lisa's youngest daughter had neglected her goldfish aquarium so badly that the fish barely had enough room to move. Who knows when they were fed last, and let's not mention the condition of the water. There's no excuse for it. I mean, bottom line, no animal should have to live that way.
Horrified. Absolutely horrified. I had no idea. If I had known, I would have done everything in my power to save those poor animals. I would have broken down the door, run full speed ahead, grabbed them, and taken them home and taken care of them. I had no idea this was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the lesson learned here is if you think you have a close eye on your teenagers, look a little closer. I mean, we thought we were doing the right thing. You know, we figured she's upstairs, she's not getting into any trouble, she's safe up there. You know, what could she be doing wrong? We were clueless. I mean, we had no idea that kind of a thing was happening. So, you know, I guess when they go up there and that door closes, you just don't know. Okay, so there we are. Okay. Lot of people. Yeah, Kayla recognized the Steenfot Blue. We did that just for him. I don't even know if I knew Bob back then. So listen. Okay. So the tank was in horrible condition. Okay, it definitely was. But there was some dramatic effect added to that. Okay. To make the video make a little bit more sense. The water was not that low when I set everything up to do the video. It was bad. It was not the best, but it was nothing like that. The lid wasn't hanging off. This was all completely staged, folks. Obviously, the girl in the video was not my neighbor. That was my sister, and this was all done for fun and kind of public service announcement. Now, I will admit that the teenager, I'm not going to say which one it was. We got 5 of them. So I'm not going to say which one it was, but she was not taking the best care of her fish at the time, but she was also very young, but it was not that bad. It was not as bad. This was more of a thing where the creative juices started flowing and I started saying, I could do this, I could do that. And we could make it look really dramatic and we could have a lot of fun with this. And the whole idea behind the whole thing was that it would be like a PSA kind of thing. Hey, keep an eye on your kids and make sure that they're doing the right thing, because it's true. Ask yourself, now you might be different than me, but ask yourself, when's the last time you went into one of your kids' rooms and like really went in there? I can tell you, I don't remember for me, because that's their space. I don't go in there. Obviously, if there was a problem, I would. So it's not like we're going in there all the time and monitoring everything and all of this. So, we needed to do a better job making sure that those fish were taken care of properly. They were only supposed to be in that tank for a very short time. They were only in that tank for a very short time, and then they were going to get moved out. But it's one of those things where we saw it and we're like, oh, she's not really taking care of it the way we'd like her to. Oh, and I could make a video about this. That's kind of how the whole thing happened. And then it was like, okay, I could kind of make a parody of the show 48 Hours. No, 20, is it 24 hours? What is that show? 40, isn't it 48 hours? I think it is. I don't know. I know that's the movie, but what is that show? Isn't it? I don't know. Who cares? But the show from back in the day, but those kind of crime dramas, true crime type stuff. That's what I was going for there for fun. My sister was a really good sport about it. It was a blast. I don't know what to tell you. We had so much fun making that video. I probably spent 3 days working on that video, and then I put it out and nobody watched it. Now, if you came in late or you haven't, you didn't understand what was going on there, if you want to watch the whole video, it is down in the description down below. It's Horror in King George. You'll see the link down there. Yeah, there you go, Matt, man. 48 hours on ID. That's the what I was going for. And I'm pretty sure that's the show that Keith Morrison narrates, and that's the voice that I was trying to emulate there. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I watched it. The whole reason why I watched it is because my 21-year-old was down here the other day, and she likes to watch me edit. That's like, I don't know why. It entertains her to watch me edit videos. And she was like, I've been wanting to go back and like watch some of your old videos. And so we started going way back. We watched my very first video, and then we watched one from like 2014. And then I was like, oh, let's watch this one. She remembered seeing this one, and we watched that one together. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to show this on the live stream. It'll be a lot of fun. So that video for me is some of the most fun I've ever had making YouTube videos. And to me, I think that is, sorry, I'm trying to get this thing configured here. That's what's the most important when it comes to YouTube, is that you're having fun. Because if it's not fun to you anymore, it gets stale and you're making the same video over and over and over again. That video was made 5 years ago. And you can see at the time, it was probably the most creative I had ever been. And still to this day, until we started the tool series, that was it. That was the most creative I ever got in a video. So thank you for watching it with me. Thank you for going on that little flashback with me. I hope you enjoyed it. The audience grew very rapidly when I started the video, and then we just lost like 60 viewers. You know what? More people must just hate that video than, I don't know. It's one of those things from the very beginning of us uploading that video. Nobody's wanted to see it. Nobody's wanted to watch it. So it is, it's disappointing, but that's why I brought it on here, because this live stream will probably get, over the course of the next week or so, probably get the same amount of views as that video has gotten in 5 years, because the channel's gone a long way since then. So gives more people the opportunity to see it. So, and you didn't hear me say this because I didn't realize that the microphone was actually muted when I had it in picture. And maybe, okay, let me ask you all this. You can tell me this. When I paused it, were you able to hear me? Because when I was watching it, I made a little comment while the video was playing, and then I realized that my microphone was muted. When I paused it, was it muted? Were you able to hear what I was saying about it when I was commentating it? I think you could, because I thought I saw some people commenting about what I was saying. Anyway, DMC says play it again. Maybe we'll play it again at the end. Stick around, because I already lost what 100 people have left in the last 15 minutes. I don't want to lose another 100, because that's a struggle. You could hear me. Okay, good. Yeah. What I was trying to say though, I guess if I paused it, you were able to actually hear me. But if the video was playing, my microphone was muted, and there was the one scene where I was showing the aquarium, the offensive aquarium. My golden retriever walked through, and you could see her in the reflection, and I was like, oh, because I miss her so much. So she was a very, very special dog. So if we watch it again later on in the stream, you'll be able to see Daisy. That was my girl. So I miss her so much. So, all right, let me go through these real quick here. And let's see. Okay, we stopped at Whip's World. Gage Faria, I hope that's the right name. Leisha should get red zebras and Johannies in her 125. Oh no, that 125, she's got the discus in there. She's got the beta sorority and the other one. So those are staying. I'm sorry. Skipped. Justin Bixler, do you have any suggestions to illuminate planaria? Did you mean eliminate? Did you mean eliminate? What I would look into are fish that will actually eat it. I don't know what kind of tank you have. There are fish, like I do believe ottos will eat it. I think Siamese algae eaters will eat it. But there's some tanks that you're not able to put those in. But what I've done when there aren't fish that can take care of it, I've gone heavy on water changes, and I've just scraped it all off. And you do that, do a water change every other day or something like that, and it'll eventually go away. There's got to be a lot in the tank for the planaria to feed on, and that's what's making them grow. So treat it like an algae. Treat it like anything else that you would. Maybe keep the lights on less, feed less, more water changes, and you'll get it all cleared out of there. And it doesn't hurt anything. It's just kind of weird because people are like, what are those little white worms? But it's not going to hurt anything. So be patient, and you'll get through that. And thank you for the super chat, by the way. Robert Egan, you're killing me to have to see the Washington Nationals poster. There's a lot more Washington Nationals back there than that. There's like 70 bobbleheads back there too. All Nationals except for 3 Capitals that my head is blocking. There's 3 Washington Capitals up there. So you're getting a lot of Nationals. And it breaks my heart. Every time I come down here, it breaks my heart because I can't watch baseball. Drives me crazy. Aquariums maintained by Andy. Bring back tool. Yep, it's coming. Don't worry. Ginger Graves. My female jaguar's egg depositor has been out for 4 days. Do I worry she's in a tank by herself? No, I wouldn't, because in my experience, female fish are still going to go through the motions. They might not lay the eggs. Obviously, they're not going to have fertile eggs, or they're fertile, but they're not fertilized by the male. If it goes on for 4 more days, maybe I would worry. But 4 days, I probably wouldn't. But then again, I'm certainly no expert on that. Hey, John, I just caught myself staring at the live stream, wondering, why do I love this guy? Always happy to see you and Lisa. Thank you guys for what you do. Keep up the good work. You know what, Road King? That means a lot. It really does, because YouTube, social media, period, can be a very toxic place. We all know that. We all know the internet, right? And there's a lot of bad that comes through on the comment section. People say mean things about me. People say mean things about Lisa. People said mean things about CJ the other day when we put that video up. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I did a video teaching our 16-year-old how to do water changes in my 2 big tanks, which I'm going to be paying him to do for me every week. There were people that said things about him. It's like, come on, people. So to get something nice like that means a lot. Thank you so much. And $20, good grief. Enjoy looking at that beautiful orange oval up there for a while. Moonstone with the $10 until we get back to work. We'll get there. Yeah, it's starts next week for me, unless some kind of major law gets put into place before the end of this week. I'm going back to work next week. I'm going to do the whole maps thing. And why did Streamlabs pop up? I took them off as a moderator. That's weird. Thank you, Candy. If you want to just boot that person or that bot, you can do that. You should be able to do that, Candy. So yeah, I start back next week, and I'll be wearing the mask and the gloves and all of that nonsense. I hate it. Let me tell you something. There's 509 people still here, and I guess without Lisa, this is just no fun to watch. But there's one thing that bothers me. There's 2 things that bother me. We went on a bike ride yesterday. Our oldest came over with his fiance and little Braden. We all went on a bike ride, and I saw a couple of guys. I'm not going to use the words that I used to describe them, driving down the street in their car with a mask on. I hate those people. I hate those people. Do you wear a mask when you're in your house? I don't think you do. I don't know why. Maybe there's been an article out there that has told people you should wear a mask when you're driving. I haven't seen those. Those people drive me crazy. If you're watching this and you are one of those people, I'm sorry. The other one that drives me crazy are the people that are sharing pictures of themselves on social media wearing the masks. Nobody cares that you're wearing your mask. Stop showing everybody on YouTube, or stop showing everybody on social media. Stop trying to get attention for yourself for a stupid reason. Anyway, Johnny I'm sorry, brother. How many root tabs should I use for my 10-gallon tank, and how often should I add more? Brother, I am not the planted tank guy. I mean, look, you see what's behind me there. You see all of my tanks. The only tank that I have planted tanks in is fake plants. So I am not the one to ask that. That would be more of an aquarium co-op kind of question. But I'm sure there's going to be people that are going to help you out with that. Somebody, because we've got such a beautiful community here. Somebody in here help him out with his root tab question. That's the beautiful thing about this, is that I might not know, but there's a lot of people in here that I promise you that do. Okay, so let me get to this. Okay, so here's what's happened here. As a way to help me out, she probably doesn't want me telling anybody this, but Lisa is sending me some questions that for whatever reason stand out. And one of them came in from Batman Rules 777. Hey man, I'm going to buy a beta pretty soon. Any advice? Absolutely. I would definitely give you advice. First of all, do not fall for the nonsense of seeing these beta kits that are at the big box pet stores. Anybody that knows me knows I love the big box pet stores, but I hate those little teeny tiny things that they sell that are supposedly good for betas. They don't have any filtration. They're tiny. They're like 3/4 of a gallon. They're stupid. Don't fall for that. If you haven't, I'm going to buy a beta pretty soon. So you might already have the tank. I don't know, but hopefully you have at least a 5-gallon tank. That's what I would advise you to get. If you don't, at least a 5-gallon tank. Put some live plants in there if you can. If you're like me and the only live plants you have are dead live plants. Did that make sense? Live plants that will die. How about that? They do appreciate plants. Betas do. And they also appreciate places to be able to hide to where they can get back and feel safe. Even if you don't have any fish in the tank with them, they can get spooked and they like to be able to have a place to retreat. So don't put them in a tank like that that's completely barren, because then they won't have anywhere to go. And if you do that, you made me say doo-doo, they're going to find, like, they're going to go behind the heater, if you have a heater in there, which you should, or they're going to go behind your filter intake, unless you don't have a heater, but you should. They're going to find somewhere to hide, and that's just sad. So give them somewhere to hide, somewhere like plant leaves, even little houses, whatever it is that you can put in there that you think looks nice. Put it in there. Just try to avoid super sharp stuff. I think people go a little bit overboard with this, if I'm being honest with you. Listen, I'm not a beta expert. I don't even say the name of the fish properly, but I think the internet is the perfect place for people to go over the top with stuff. And you'll see people with plastic plants, and the beta world will go crazy. Oh my God, your beta's fins are going to get all ripped up because of those plastic plants. Has it happened before? I'm sure it has. But is it going to happen to every single beta that you put into a tank? No. Anubias leaves are as rigid as a lot of fake plant leaves, folks. But yet Anubias are everywhere in beta tanks. So I do think people do go a little crazy over that. But live plants, preferably, if you can't do the live plant thing, because you're like me, maybe those silk plants, if you can't do the silk plants, just make sure they're plants that are very soft. That way people don't yell at you. Sean Gilchrist, how many guppies can I have in a 55-gallon tank? Good Lord. Never been asked that before. And I don't know that there is a formula for guppies, because whatever number you put in there, it's not going to be that number for long, because they are going to reproduce. There's nothing you can do to stop that unless you buy all males or you buy all females, then maybe. But even then, you can buy 40 females and you probably got 5 or 6 of them from the pet store pregnant. Meaning they're going to be dropping eggs, or they don't drop eggs, dropping live fish for a couple of months. They could be still dropping them because they were fertilized a long time ago by a male that they were, you understand what I'm saying? So guppies are rabbits. I know it's cliche, but they are like rabbits. But you know what? That's one of the most beautiful things about them, is the fact that they do reproduce, and they reproduce so quickly. And I love a tank that I can look at, and there's big guppies, there's a little not as big, there's some that are a little smaller than that, and there's like all different sizes, all the way down to little micro pieces of rice that are fry swimming around looking for food. I love that. I love seeing all of the different sizes. So, I mean, listen, betas do not put a massive load on a tank, but you're going to be, if you buy 25 fish and you put them in that 55-gallon tank, you're going to be putting a lot of food in there. A lot of food's going to get missed. It's going to go down to the bottom. It's going to sit there and rot. And so you do have to take care of beta tanks, but they don't have, did I just say betas? A lot guppy tanks, but the fish themselves don't have a huge load because they're so tiny. I mean, you can't even see their poops. They're like little teeny itty bitty things. So I don't even know if there's a rule about how many you can put in a 55-gallon tank. We had, I guarantee you, we had every bit of 100 of them in a 75-gallon tank. We started with like 20, and they're now 100. So understand that before you go out and buy 75 of them to put in your 55-gallon tank. That 75 is going to become 275 before you know it. So I'd say get 25 of them if you can afford it. But even that's no. You know what I'm going to tell you? How about 18? Let's put 18 in there. Kyle Bush, I like that number. Let's put 18 guppies in there. If you want to be a professional guppy breeder, make sure they're all the same. But if you're like me and you just love fish and you don't care if they cross and you have a bunch of mutt guppies and that doesn't bother you, get whatever you want, put them in there and just watch the party happen. It's a beautiful thing and it's a lot of fun. So I hope that helps, although I'm sure it didn't. How are the Oscars doing? That's from Aiden Kelly. They're doing fantastic. They're growing like Oscars do. In fact, Aiden, shame on you because you didn't watch my video on Tuesday that I put up just 2 days ago. They made an appearance in that video. The one where we were teaching CJ how to do water changes. They're in there. It's brief, but they're in there. In fact, there's one part where my daughter she goes around and has everybody make a funny face. And then there's a close-up of the Oscar, and I put on text, make a funny face of the Oscar. It's real adorable. But yeah, they're doing really well. I miss them because I'm not with them all the time like I was. I can't wait for them to be right over there. That's really exciting. They're probably 8 inches now. I mean, they're just growing like you wouldn't even believe. Doing fantastic. How many Tetra fish can I have? Why does Lisa keep sending me all these how many questions can I have in a 40-gallon tank? Now, Stella, that is a rather difficult question to answer, and I'm going to explain to you why. There are tetras that stay under an inch, like ember tetras. There are tetras that can get 4 inches. So that's a very, very difficult question to answer. What I would say, there's 150 different types of tetras, if not thousands of different tetras. I don't know how many tetras there are, but there are so many of them. It's impossible for me to tell you just off the top of my head how many you can put in there, because if they're ember tetras, I would say in a 40-gallon, you could have 30 of them in there. But if they're rummy nose tetras that are going to get 3 inches, you're not going to want 30 of them in there. So research the actual tetras that you want. Find out how big they get. Do not fall for this nonsense of $1 or $1 a gallon, inch per gallon. Don't even pay attention to any of that. Do research on those particular fish. Type it into the good old internet. And when you find something that tells you how many that particular fish can go in that size tank, read 5 more articles or watch 5 more videos. Don't just take the word of one article or one video. Even if it's mine, watch them all and then put all those numbers together, and then you can come up with your most educated answer. Darren Heath, how big a tank would you recommend for Bolivian rams? Bolivian rams get significantly larger than all of the other rams. German blues, the Goldens, all of those. So what would I suggest for Bolivian rams? 29 gallon, maybe? I mean, I don't think that's too small. I'm going to say 29 gallon, and you know what? I'm comfortable with that. I think 20 is too small. 40, there's no such thing as overkill as far as too big of a tank. You can put them in a 360 if you want. And that would be really cool. Just get like 75 of them, and that would be awesome. But yeah, 29, if you're going to have a few of them, 29 gallons, I think you'll be fine. Okay, let me get to this now. We've been to the chat. Now let me get to the super chats real quick. Where did I stop off? Oh, the root tabs one that I couldn't answer. The guy wasted his money. I feel so bad about that. Furlough's Fish Room Trolls Gonna Troll. Great stream as always, John. Glad to have these to look forward to on Thursdays. Yeah, believe me, trolls don't bother me, but it happens a lot. And so to get nice things said like you just did, and what Road King said earlier, yeah, see, I still remember the name. It's nice. It's nice. It never gets old to hear that. Lefty, again, back up, empty outer, filler upper fun. I'm going to tell you something. That, if you don't know what Lefty's talking about there, CJ in that video, he called my Python system the empty outer and filler upper. That's what he called that because at the end of the video, I had him recap. Hey, tell me what it is that you just did. And he did that, and he called that the empty outer and filler upper. So Lefty's given me the money to buy a backup one. And you know what? When you put a piece of equipment like that in a teenager's hands, it's probably a good idea to have a backup one. Mattman B, how often should I clean my FX6? I have it on a 75 gallon with peacocks and also have a hang on the back. Been doing once a month. Just want to hear your input. Once a month isn't bad. If that's too much for you, what I would tell you is if your water's okay, then that's going to kind of tell you. Um, Also, the fluvels, as big a fan as I am of the fluvels, they can get a little clogged, especially if you have like the polishers in there, which would be the white pads that are really, really dense. Those can get clogged up. And when they do, it affects the performance of the filter. And you can actually see a difference in the flow of the water. If that's the case, maybe you need to do it more. But if you're still getting good, really good flow through it, if you're cleaning it out once a month and it's really not that bad, you're obviously, when you wring out the sponges, the water's going to be brown. I mean, unless you're doing it every day, the water's going to be brown in there. But if you don't have like your biomedia completely filthy, I'm sure you have in one of the trays, if not multiple trays, biomedia. As long as that's not completely caked and covered in sludge and the whole guts of the filter isn't covered in sludge, if it's just that your sponges are brown, maybe you could go a little longer. It shouldn't be too big of a problem. I'm going to be honest, with ours, with our canister filters, with all of them, I go about every 2 months. And I'm being straight up with you. Now, we don't have any tanks that are like way overstocked. We keep stocked to, smart numbers. Actually, I'm lying to you. I'm looking at the lens right now, looking into how many people. I can't even see it now. 517 people. I'm looking at you and I'm lying to you because that tank right there, which you can't see, but it's the tank with our angels and Danios and Harlequins and plecos. And there's way too many fish in that tank, but that's a temporary thing. The majority of our tanks are, they're not overstocked. So we don't have a huge issue with that. So keep an eye on things, do some tests, do some investigating when you're doing your maintenance. And if they're not that bad, maybe let it go 6 weeks. Try it then and see where your water stands, where it tests, and then also what the water looks like when you clear it out. I can tell you this, if you clear it out once a month, and when you put it back on, your tank looks like magic, like, oh my God, I've never seen it look this good before, then you might need to do it more. It shouldn't be that dramatic of a change. If it is a dramatic change when you clean out your filter, you're probably not clearing it out enough. With peacocks and whatever else you said in there, let's see. It just says peacocks. I mean, you might have 37 peacocks in there. You might have 6. I don't know. But anyway, I go on and on and on. This is why I struggle answering questions, because I go on and on and on. I hope that helps you, Matt, man. You're probably doing the right thing and just looking for some reassurance. Lisa Lloyd, I have learned so much from you and Lisa. You guys are great. Nothing but love. That's amazing. Y'all keep doing that. You don't have to give me money. Just keep saying stuff like that. It's a beautiful thing. If it says for betas, it's probably not. Deep fried apple pie in my eye is a genius with what he or she. That's not a girl that would make that name on YouTube. That has to be a guy. But that's very much the truth. A lot of those products are advertised for betas, and wouldn't put a beta in there. But then again, they've got goldfish on the box for 10-gallon starter kits. I don't know. I mean, you do what's right to make people buy them, right? I mean, they're a business. They want to sell their aquariums. They want to sell their kits. I get it, but we all know better than that. Aquarium Conversations, 8 Congo tetras, 2 blue Acara, 1 firemouth in a 65-gallon planted tank. Fish are still pretty small. Should I be good long-term? Keeping me motivated. Blue Acaras are not going to get monstrous. Firemouths, what do they get? Like 8-9 inches? And the Congo tetras are not exactly tiny tetras. what I'd like to see is the Acaras and the firemouths go into something bigger. The Acaras, they'll probably be fine. The firemouth might get a little tight in there. They don't get massive, but the Acaras, they don't get massive. That's how I say it anyway. Does everybody else say Acara the same way? I know I say beta's wrong, but I think Acara is how you pronounce it. I think they'd probably be fine long term in the 65. With the Congo tetras, probably wouldn't be an issue. That firemouth though, I'd keep an eye on that one. They're not known for being over the top aggressive and mean and horrible, but they do get significantly bigger than the other ones. I think you're good for a while though, if that makes you feel better. Tyler Barton, hey, I got a Calibiru rainbow. Oh Lord, the rainbow questions. And one of them has a black spot on his side, not on both though. Seems like fungus, treating with Morrison and Paragard. Any suggestions? I'm lost on what it is. Yeah, I'm lost on what that is too. I'd be doing exactly what you are doing. In fact, no. I would be handing it off to Lisa and I would say, hey, fix this. Because she has studied that a whole lot more than I have, which is unfortunate that she's not here today. But if I was on my own and I couldn't pass it off to Lisa, I'd be doing exactly what you're doing because you got to be safe, right? It could be just a defect in that fish. Black spot. I mean, if it's a giant spot, then it could be a scar. It could be just something that's on that fish. I mean, a lot of fish look different on both sides. They're not mirror images of each other. So I'd be doing exactly what you're doing. If it's something that does fall off and it exposes underneath of that, then you're obviously doing the right thing. But yeah, again, I'd be doing exactly what you're doing. Sand Creek Aquatics with the $2 and the big red thumbs up. Peyton Dooley became a member. Famous J became a member. Welcome to the team. Folks, neither one of those are guaranteed to be male or female. So welcome, folks. Glad to have you. Kaler's Aquatics with the weekly cheerleader. That's another one. I could go into the car dealership. I could be like, hey, I don't know how much money I make, but I know I make $10 a week from that guy. So that's a guarantee. Open air. How do I lower water hardness? There are several different ways. I would not do it chemically. I would do it with things like driftwood. Peat moss in your filter is a good option, depending on what kind of filter you have. Those are more natural and pretty much permanent ways of adjusting pH rather than chemicals, because it's going to swing up and down, and let's not use the chemicals. They're good in a pinch, but you really shouldn't ever be in a pinch when it comes to adjusting pH. So anyway, Melissa Jeswald with the $5. Hugs to Lisa. You two are the best. And so are you, because we see your name every single time in this stream, not just super chats, but we see you in the stream all the time. So thank you for being you. Lisa Lloyd, again, have you done any tutorials on shrimp? No. But I did have Rob Lupton from Flip Aquatics on this very live stream, but it was like 4 years ago. So you can definitely find that. Go to my channel page and just go to the search and go to Flip Aquatics, and it'll definitely pop up. And that because I do what I do. Lisa and I have always been about, let's keep fish keepers fish keeping. Let's help the new fish keepers. When I had Rob on, it was, hey, I don't know anything about shrimp. Tell me how to keep shrimp. So that's a great video to watch to kind of get the basics and get the learning done about shrimp. And he's a great guy to get that information from. Stephen LeBlanc, what is the easiest way to get rid of brown algae? Water changes and maybe some help in there if you have the ability to put in some type of algae eating fish. If your tank's big enough, common plecos love them some diatom algae. I ain't gonna lie to you. It is it's magic what happens when you put common plecos in a tank that's full of diatom algae. It'll blow your mind. But if you got a 4-foot tank, you can't even bother with that. Look into other smaller ancestors and stuff like that that'll eat brown algae. Plenty of algae eating fish, but usually keeping a cleaner tank will help with that. So all the same things we talked about earlier, less light, maybe less hours that you have the lights on, more water changes, feed lighter for a little bit, because everything that's happening in your aquarium is contributing to the buildup of that algae. So if you do everything less, then you're good. Clash Course with Aries with the superhero pair $10 super chat. That's a beautiful thing to watch. As much as I love superheroes, I love it. Matt Man B, 6 peacocks and a few imbunos. Thanks for the input. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing it once a month, especially with a hang on the back on there too. No, I wouldn't be going. I'd be going every couple of months with that many fish in your tank. I'm pretty sure it was Matt Man that was asking about the cleaning out the FX6, right? Yep. My memory is on point tonight. Brandon Finger. Hi, John. I have 2 Oscars and 2 Severums. I feed them a cichlid pellet. What else could you suggest for food so I'm not overfeeding the tank? Well, changing up foods is not necessarily going to help lessen the overfeeding. The overfeeding is going to be controlled by you. But with Oscars and Severums, first of all, they're both bottomless pits. They will eat anything, especially mine. I've got both of those in my 360. I love the Tetra freeze-dried jumbo krill. It's expensive. It's not a cheap food at all, but that stuff is really good. And the Oscars will put so much of it in their mouth that they won't even be able to close their mouth, and it's adorable. And I love Extreme. Of course I do. You see it right there. I've loved Extreme forever. I feed my 360-gallon the monster pellets from Extreme. I don't feed them the sticks, the carnivore sticks from Hikari anymore because Reno ate them all. Might have contributed to that urinary tract infection. It was a long time ago that he ate all of that though. But I do like that product a lot too, whether it's Severums, Oscars, whatever. And the cute thing is if your Severums are smaller and they can't fit the whole stick in their mouth, you'll see them swimming around with a stick sticking out of their mouth. It's absolutely adorable. It's like they got a noodle hanging out of their mouth. It's the best. And then I love the freeze-dried krill, and I love frozen shrimp from the grocery store. One of the best things I ever found was they had, and I want to call them cocktail shrimp, but I don't think that's what it is. They're the little tiny shrimps like you would use for shrimp stir fry or, like shrimp fried rice, the little ones in the frozen section. They were wonderful because they were like the size of a nickel, obviously considerably thicker, and a whole bag of them. And so you can just grab a handful with my tank with all of the fish I have in there, grab like a handful of them, put them in a cup, thaw them out, throw them in there. You don't have to cut them up or anything. It's a beautiful thing. But if you can't find those, which I've never found them since then, just use the regular frozen shrimp that you can buy in the frozen section at your grocery store, pre-peeled, not because it's bad, but just because it's a pain in the butt to peel the shrimp. The pre-peeled, and just thaw them out, cut them up, and throw them in there. They will explode on those, believe me. I have not had the best luck feeding frozen shrimp to my big tank now. Back in the day with my 2 massive arowanas that I had, I could hold the shrimp up and kind of let it touch the water, and the arowana would see it and it would come over and I would let go and boom, he would take it, like practically taking it out of my hands. But the arowanas, we're talking about 27 inches. They were monsters. If I was to do the cute thing of hold it and let the fish come up and get it, it would take, skin right off of my fingers. So, cause they were big. So I would just drop it right when the fish got to it and they would take it away. These don't do that. They're lazy. They don't want to do that. So I'll drop the shrimp in, it'll sink down to the bottom. And my 2 arowanas that I have right now don't want to have anything to do with going down to the bottom to get food. They want it either floating or very slowly sinking. But the good thing about that is that they attack food. I mean, we'll put a handful of the krill in there, the freeze-dried krill, because I buy the big can of it, and it's like a swarm. It's almost like African cichlids eating. You know how they go crazy and it's like water splashing everywhere? That's exactly what these fish do. The arowanas are competing with the Oscars, and then the Severums are kind of in the bottom, going just catching everything that falls. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, I'm going on and on and on and on. Put a New York Yankees poster on the wall. No, I'm not going to do that. I don't hate the Yankees, but don't you make me hate them, Robert Egan. Don't you make me hate them. Did I say Eagles? I'm talking weird now. Anyway, I don't hate the Yankees. If I said a second ago I don't hate the Eagles, I misspoke, because I definitely hate the Eagles. I don't hate the Yankees. I don't particularly like them either. I can't stand the Mets, not because they're bad, but because they're in the same division as the Nationals. But Yankees, they don't bother me. But I'm not going to put a poster up of them. No way. I could see like an Aaron Judge bobblehead. You want to send me one? P.O. box is in the description. I could see a Aaron Judge bobblehead, especially if it was like 6 inches taller than all the rest of them. That'd be beautiful. But no, I'm not a Yankees hater, but there's not going to be a poster hanging up in this fish room. I can promise you that. Tiffany Underwood, watching with my daughter. We love you guys. That's a special thing, to be able to have a mother and a daughter watching together. Me, that's a beautiful thing. So welcome, Tiffany, and welcome Tiffany's daughter. Deep fried apple pie in my eye again. Shocker, he's asking pancakes or waffles. Either one is going to make this guy happy. I am a breakfast food person. I eat omelets for lunch every day. Well, when I'm in quarantine, I do. If I had to choose, see, I don't know. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to choose, because I love them both. Pancakes I like with just syrup. Waffles I like with fruit, like strawberries, blueberries, even peaches, bananas. It doesn't matter. But if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably say neither one. I'd say French toast. Threw a curveball at you there as another baseball reference. Yeah, I'd say French toast if you put a gun to my head and made me pick. But in all seriousness, if I had to pick between those two, it would be pancakes, just because they're easier. David LL with the $10. I have used General Cure and erythromycin to treat one of my fish. He started to shrunk, and he isn't getting any bigger. It has been a couple of weeks. Any suggestions or advice? You know what? If the fish is older, the fish might just be getting old. I've actually got one of those myself right now. And I know the fish was old when I got him. It's actually my stunning red OB peacock that's in my 240. He's perfectly healthy, but he's shrinking a little bit because he's old. It's like an 8-year-old fish. He was a breeder for Live Fish Direct forever. And if you've ever seen him, you know why he was a breeder. He's absolutely stunning. He's starting to show his age. Think about it. We all shrink when we get older, right? I mean, Shaquille O'Neal's he's like 6'1" now. I'm kidding. He's not even old. He's younger than me, but no, you know what I'm saying. We get old, we shrink. All animals shrink when they get older. So unless he's withering away and it's like, it really is something where the stomach is all in and he's just barely being able to swim, and then he's obviously got something that at that point is probably too far to be treated anyway, especially if you've already tried an antibiotic and General Cure, which has metronidazole in it and everything else. I mean, you've given some pretty good stuff. And you said couple of weeks. Did you treat them for a long enough time, or was it just like one treatment you put in there? Because that could certainly affect it too. To remind me that he is coming up in 15 minutes. He's got that special time slot takeover from Rack. Hey, James, I'm going to tell you right now, I told Rack the other day, I said, look, dude, what you're doing is really, really nice, but you got to understand, but he still decided to give it to you. That shows you how beautiful of a person Rack Cross is. Butch Gorski, 12 peacocks in a 60-gallon tank using 2 Emperor 400s. Water tests well, but colors come and go. What am I doing wrong? Colors come and go. Are they smaller? Are they, good Lord, who is spamming the chat? Are they young where they haven't come into their colors yet? Are some of them females? Did you just buy them and you have, they were juiced? If you bought them at one of the big box stores and they were super brightly colored, there's a good chance that that's artificial color that's on there. It's not like they spray paint them, but they feed them hormoned food, which makes them all appear to be males, but half of them are females. So they might be losing their color because they're actually a female and they're not supposed to have the color. So, but 60 gallon with 2 Emperor 400s, that's hardcore. I mean, that's enough to filter a 150 gallon tank. So you don't have a problem with filtration. I wouldn't think that would be moving the water too much. Peacocks like a good flow. But if it's blowing them up against the glass, then, it might be stressing them out a little bit. Are there other fish in there that are stressing them out? Because African cichlids colors will dim if they're stressed. So even if you have 12 male peacocks and you paid $60 a piece for them and you know that they're all males because you bought them from somebody that you trust, they can still dim when they get stressed out. Your alpha will be brightly colored, like crazy colored, and all of the others will be dimmed out. And that's because they've basically fallen in line. Sometimes you get lucky like me. All of my peacocks show full color. But we're not all that lucky. And I haven't been that lucky every single time that I've done it. So yeah, I hope that helps you. I hope that helps you, Butch. David Glass, what type of cichlids should I get for a beginner? Wow. See, for several years there, cichlids automatically meant African cichlids. They were the hottest thing at the moment for several years, for probably 10 years. They were the hottest fish in the hobby and everybody loved them. It was just the big thing, kind of like shrimp are now and, nano fish and stuff like that are now. So if you had asked me this 40 years ago, I would have given you African cichlid. I would have picked specific African cichlids, but I don't know if that's what you're talking about. For the beginner though, just using the broad cichlid term, if you're going to go with African cichlids, I'm going to assume because you're a beginner, you probably don't have a huge tank. So I would stick with some of your smaller imbunas, the smaller ones like the Pseudotropheus, or even going with something like shell dwellers, because again, I'm assuming you have a smaller tank because you're a beginner, and most beginners don't start out with a 125 gallon tank. So that's what I would start with there. If you're not talking about Africans, if you're just talking about cichlids as a whole, there is not an easier cichlid on planet Earth to keep, and you can keep them in a small tank, than convicts. And I know there's going to be some people that are going to growl at me for saying that. Convicts are an amazing fish, folks. I don't care who you are. They are awesome. They're super easy to keep. You could raise them in mud. And don't do that, but you could. Super easy to keep. They're super easy to breed. They're super mean. So they will annihilate anything else that's in the tank for you with them. So don't be putting 3 convicts with an angel. That angel's doomed. Not automatic. Some people have probably done it, but if you do that, you're pretty much giving that angel a death sentence. But super easy to keep. They're really attractive fish and, great for beginners because they're pretty much bulletproof. And it was one of the first cichlids I ever kept and the first cichlid I ever bred. The first cichlid I ever had actually was an Oscar. And again, that's another easy fish to keep, but I'm going to assume that because you're a beginner, you probably have a tank that's going to be too small for Oscars. So I'm not going to recommend Oscars to you, but convicts. I set up my first tank that had an arowana and an Oscar in it. It was a 29 gallon. Don't do that. But that's what I did because I was dumb and I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't have anybody to ask about it. But then I had a second 29 gallon, and then I got another 29 gallon, and I put convicts in there, and they were awesome, and they were super easy, and they bred almost instantly. I didn't even have to do anything but, feed them and put water in their tank, and they bred. So not exactly easy to get rid of the fry. I was very fortunate because a friend of mine, for some reason, wanted the fry, and I had like 70 of them, and he was like, I'll take them. And I gave them to him. And he didn't take them like to feed to other fish or anything. He kept them. And he loved them. So there you go. Oh, and by the way, I said that almost immediately after saying I didn't know anybody that I could ask questions like that. He was a beginner too. And he wanted to get another tank, and he wanted to set up another tank. And he was like, I'll set up another tank and I'll take the babies. I'm like, all right, cool. There you go. So anyway, Ginger Graves became a member tonight. Welcome back, because I'm pretty sure you've been a member before. Folks, we are, and I'm so excited about this. It's not official yet, but we are getting so close to being back up to the number that we were at when we made the change to channel memberships. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we had tiers for the longest time where there was different levels that you could sign up for. They costed different amounts. Costed? Is that a word? They cost different amounts, and we scrapped that, and we took everything right back to the $5 a month, and we lost 2/3 of our members. And now we're almost back up to that. So that's a beautiful thing. Thank all of you so much, particularly in these days, in these times. It's a special thing. So thank you to everybody that signed up tonight and everybody that's a member now. Again, Ginger, tomorrow, you get to find out what Lisa is doing with that 75-gallon tank. And it's going to be exciting. And that's going to be a members only video tomorrow. That's going to go up. Because of this quarantine, I haven't been getting out of the bed till like 8:30, 9 o'clock every day, which is kind of embarrassing, but I don't go to bed till like 2 a.m. So it'll probably be up at like 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to the members. Deep fried apple pie, again, with the $2. Thank you for your videos and being a good sport. I try so hard. And thank you for watching my videos, our videos, and tolerating me for a whole hour without Lisa tonight. It's impressive. We still got 477 people in here, and it's just me. It's just me and 478 people. It's kind of weird when you think about it. That's really weird. I can't think about it, because then you start to get nervous, like 400 and... Do you realize how many people that is? That's a lot. Anyway, I don't want to get too nervous. Henry Chavez with the $50 in pesos. I don't know how you say that. Hi, do you think 2 convicts in a 20-gallon is okay? What about a single electric blue Acara? I have had 2 convicts in a 20-gallon tank, and they were fine. Should they be in something bigger? Yeah, but every fish on planet Earth should be in a bigger tank than they're in. What about a single electric blue Acara? A 20 long, maybe 20 tall. They're only 24 inches. I don't know. I think electric blue Acaras get a little bigger than 20 gallons or than what is acceptable in a 20-gallon tank is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to say no. I don't know for certain, but I'm going to say no on the electric blues. The convicts, I've done it. Again, it's not ideal, but it could do it. You could get away with it. The convicts that I had that bred, they had their babies in that 29, and then I moved them because I got rid of my piranha that I had that I hated, and I took the 2 convicts and I put them in the 20 long that I had up above my TV, and they were perfectly fine. And they only bred that one time, which was actually good. Maybe being in a 20-gallon stopped them from breeding. I don't really know. So Kristen misses Lisa. I know. I mean, I do too. But let's see. Okay, let me get through a couple of these real quick. Wow, there's a lot. Charlie Petrizzo says, let's go Mets. How dare you? How to remove tannins. Get rid of what is causing the tannins, like the driftwood or the leaves and all of that other nonsense that people are putting in tanks right now. I'm not a big fan of that if you haven't figured that out. Soak them in something that's not your aquarium. A boiling pot on the stove would be the best thing for that. And you keep boiling it, and you pour the water out, and you boil some more water, and you put them back in there, and you keep doing that until the water stops turning black. Then you know it's ready to put back in your tank. A lot of people love the tannins thing. It's just not my thing. But I know how popular it is now, and I love how much beta people, I know how much beta people love it, all that, blah, blah, blah. Hi, John, just bought a couple of Oscars, and I feed them a cichlid pellet. I'm wondering what other foods I could feed them. I already answered that one. Any tips on piranhas? Yeah, they're boring. Don't get them. Thoughts on filtration for 125-gallon planted tank? Don't really want to do a canister. Planted tank, if it's a heavily planted tank, you could go with a couple of larger sponge filters or a few sponge filters. They do perfectly fine. As long as you don't mind the noise from the bubbles, that would, they're a lot more efficient than people think they are. I have 4 goldfish in a 20-gallon. Any advice on what size tank I should get next? I've got 4 in a 75, and I still feel kind of bad about that. So the bigger you can go, the better. If you read all different kinds of articles, every article is going to tell you something different. And I don't agree with pretty much any of them. I feel like this hobby, everything should be bigger. I don't think any of us are doing this right, but we do the best that we can. So will KG Tropicals ever do saltwater? Yes. I just don't know when, but definitely will. I love the most recent video with you and your son, John. Thank you. That was awesome. It was our Tuesday video, which they don't get nearly the views that our Sunday videos do. But I know that. I expect it, and it's fine. It doesn't hurt my feelings. But I had a lot of fun making that video. It was fun getting everybody involved and all of that. It was a good time. Okay, so Fish Nerd came in at the last minute. Carlos, we're getting ready to leave, brother. So sorry about that. Yep, we got 3 minutes left, but glad to have you. And it's coming close on that day, isn't it? If it hasn't happened already, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming it hasn't happened. I think I would know if it's happened. But, and if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay, because Carlos knows. So, and Candy's asking him now. So I guess we're about to find out. Carlos, let's hear it. It hasn't happened, right? I'm going to wait here until he answers me. And he's not going to answer me. And there's like a 20-second lag. So it's going to take way too long. Anyway, folks, this has been a lot of fun. Mr. 3000 comes in at the last second and says, keep going. You know I can't do that because there's somebody else coming on at 10:30. So as much as I would love to stay and be your jester and entertain you, can't do that. These live streams wear me out, and I'm figuring out that when I'm by myself the whole hour and a half, they really wear me out. She's due tomorrow. Doc acted like tomorrow may be the day. Now, see, we can't get into this, Carlos, because I got to go in a minute, but it makes me wonder how things like that are being handled right now with the current situation. I hope everything works out for you. I'm sure it will, because, it's not like they're going to be like, no, stay home, get in the bathtub, you'll be all right. It's Carlos's wife is having a baby, folks, in case you're wondering what in the world I'm talking about. So anyway, thank you all so much for hanging out with me. This has been a lot of fun. We're all going to go over to Fish Room Fever, who is taking over the spot for Rack, and we're going to keep the community building going like Corey did. We are going to keep it going by I got to see what Carlos just said. What did he say? She's scheduled to be induced early Monday morning at the very latest. Got it. Okay. So let's go over there and let's continue what Corey started and go with the hashtag community. Let's just keep going with that. And yes, I want to say this to Carlos. Congratulations to you. It's going to happen in a couple of days. It's a beautiful thing, my friend. And I can't wait to hear how everything goes. So I can't believe it. I was about to say goodbye without saying that. So thank you all again so much for hanging out. Lisa will be back with me next week unless something crazy happens. This was a lot of fun. If she doesn't come back next week, I'm going to be all right. I can handle it. Hashtag community, Kaler's Aquatics. go over to Fish Room Fever, #community. And I'm going to take a little break, and I'll see you over there shortly. Good night, everyone.